I have a very big drive to learn new things, and the question is, or the problem is, how do I define, or how do I truly see which information is designed to benefit me and give me new perspectives, and which information is created to manipulate me into the wrong direction, because there is a lot of this misinformation or something like this out there, and people are panicking about what they can trust online and in general what things they can believe in or not. Then the question is, should you even be believing in anything? Because believing, by essentially saying you believe in something, essentially you're saying that you don't know it. You don't 100% truly know that it's true, but you think it may be. Why would I ever believe in anything? It doesn't make too much sense to me. If I know something to be a fact, I can just straight up say that I know it. If I believe something, it won't change anything, because I can never act upon it, or I can, but it's always going to be a risk. There is no point in believing in anything. You can state your beliefs, it's just like a good guess. And if someone says their beliefs to you and you know it's a belief and not knowledge, then you will know that it's just like a good guess. You don't have to take it seriously. If you ask a question to someone, or you ask a question to multiple people and you get different responses, it means that they are all stating their beliefs, because this cannot be knowledge, because if they're all saying different things, it cannot be knowledge. That means that you are looking at people's opinions and beliefs, which means you shouldn't take it that seriously, because it doesn't really mean anything in the end. It's just like saying, this is my guess, have at it, or like, think about it whatever you want to think about it, but you shouldn't take that seriously. And that's how I've learned, like, nowadays, if someone says to me something like that I can recognize is a belief, it instantly registers to me as a belief instead of true knowledge and like true criticism, which means that I will now be able to look at it as it is, which is just a good guess. And I guess this is one of my tools that I am using for what I was talking about, like how do you determine what is true, how do you find true knowledge? You first have to differentiate knowledge between knowledge and a knowledge and a belief, what you know and what you believe, and what someone else knows and what they believe, because this will make you be able to truly recognize the things that are true, because you can confirm them yourself if you know them to truly be true knowledge. There isn't just one thing that will make you intelligent or knowledgeable. For example, people say if you want to gain knowledge, you should read a book. If you want to become intelligent or smart, you should read a book. How I see it is, being smart or intelligent is a general way of looking at life. It's not about the things you know per se, it's about the things that, it's about how you view life and how you go through life. Someone could read 1,000 books, which, think about it, reading a book is reading words. You could be reading thousands of words, but it could mean exactly nothing. But someone could read 0 words and still be intelligent, because they're looking at life through a certain lens. Reading a book is in no way better to watching any YouTube video or any kind of social media content. It can be good or it can be bad. Reading a book can be good, but in most cases, in 99% of the cases, 99.99% of the cases, the books that you're reading are designed to basically indoctrinate you and brainwash you, because, well, maybe it's not even on purpose, but just by reading the book, you are, like, think about it logically, you are like taking on the person's beliefs and kind of like stepping into their world. If you want to do that, if you want to take on that person's beliefs and knowledge, whatever you want to think about it, then you should read that book. But how do you know before reading the book that it is something worth ingesting? is something that you can trust, that it won't give you any negative influences. It's very difficult, and that's why I say that's why I think it's not that important to read books if you want to become if you want to know the truth. Basically, you shouldn't be obsessing about finding the right books or finding the right YouTube videos. You just need to be able to think clearly and view life in the proper way. And that is my current view on it. Maybe there's some book that would reveal it all to me and I haven't just read it yet, but for just this far, whenever I read a book, it's like I temporarily step into the person's world and I kind of like view the world through this lens, what they are creating. For example, I was reading an autobiography of a woman who was it doesn't matter, but basically after reading that book, I was like, after I closed the book and went on with my other things in my life, I kind of felt like I was still stuck in the book world, and I was kind of like viewing the whole world through that book, which is interesting, and it's something that you can leverage. If you are, for example, you are born, your whole childhood you were kind of like dumb, like I was, and I still think I am pretty like not that intelligent, but what I have is a drive to learn anyway. If you are like this, that you are kind of at a lower stage and you want to become something higher, it could be like beneficial for you to brainwash yourself with something like that, because your current brain is not working properly. So you should take someone intelligent and brainwash yourself with their beliefs, because at least that will get you started on it. Otherwise, if you go on with your brain what your brain is saying, you will never get to where you're supposed to go. At least that's what I did in the beginning, and at a certain point you can start to learn the thing for yourself. But I think you need some kind of like, humans need some kind of like role models. We are not just designed to go through life all by ourselves and figure it all out. You need some kind of role models, and it should have been in your circle, but maybe it wasn't because of modernity, and now you have to look for it elsewhere. Well, it is what it is. Just brainwash yourself with someone who believes who is more intelligent than you. Then you can branch off after that. But as I said, I don't view myself as that intelligent right now, and for my whole childhood I was not intelligent, purely not intelligent. And I can admit that I was not intelligent, I was very stupid. But what I have always had and still have is a very strong curiosity and hunger for knowledge, you could say. Even though I was stupid and I acted in a stupid way, it's still, I always knew deep inside that there's something more to life than what I was experiencing. But I couldn't just think of it like that. I didn't have the words for it in my mind at that point, and I still don't. And that's why I'm still trying to like figure things out. But back then, I still knew that when I was experiencing life and I was looking around, I was like, this is like a bubble that I'm living in, and there's something outside of this that I'm like supposed to be experiencing, but I'm not. And what I was talking about is, I have always had this kind of like knowledge, or I have always had the curiosity or a deep desire to learn about things. And I think if you are stupid or were stupid, that is what you should have. If you weren't born into if you weren't born into circumstances which would have made you intelligent, you need to have desire to learn and a desire to discover new things, and the knowledge that you don't know what is out there in the world. What you know is just a tiny speck of the whole reality that is unfolding around you. People who know a lot about mathematics, for example, are not necessarily intelligent by default, but being able to learn mathematics and the whole system of how it works and being able to comprehend it all could be a sign of intelligence. So just because you know a thing and can repeat it, it doesn't mean that you truly understand it. And this is obviously something that should be clear to people. Just because you say a bunch of words, it doesn't mean that it registers for you. And I see this in my dealings with people. You could be talking about any kind of topic, Then they state their belief about something or what they heard. And then you ask them, how did you come to that conclusion? Like, explain the thought process behind it. But there is no thought process behind it. There is just the words that they say out of their mouth, and they think that explains the thing that they are talking about. But it really doesn't, because there is no knowledge behind it. There is no independent thought underneath as a base layer, like a pyramid. At the top is the thing that they are saying, but it's built on all the things that they have thought about previously that builds up to this pyramid. They haven't done any of the pyramids, they haven't put any of the blocks down, but they say what they heard because they believe that this guy knows what he's talking about. This is not knowledge, and this is not a sign of intelligence. If you are saying things that, if you're repeating things like a parrot that you heard, it has nothing to do with intelligence. But this is what you will see in my case as well. I do this. Like, every one of us does this, and we need to all look deep inside of us to see like why we believe the things we believe, and why we haven't built up the pyramid of thought and the base layers of it, why we don't have the capability of independent thought. Should be the basic question here. If you want to reach intelligence, you need to know what is the system of building up these independent thoughts into the point where you can reach a conclusion about things. That is the system of intelligence, basically. In my current view, it could change. That is how I conceptualize it at the moment. And at least there's independent thought behind it. That's better than me saying intelligence is blah 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 blah, reading of Wikipedia or something. Yeah. See ya.